Hey everybody, Frugal Farmer here. This is kind of a memory video, but this stretches beyond my memory. This is sugarcane. Sugarcane grown in the south in different areas. Some areas it grows better than others. This was grown on farms, and what you do before you got ready to harvest it, you take all these leaves, cut them off. Then you take and cut it at the very base, and carry that to the sugarcane mill if you didn't have one. And normally there was somebody in the community that had one that would press your sugarcane for you. And these leaves and stuff were fed to the farm animals. But this stuff, it pretty much can grow anywhere, and I've had it just like that. You just take and cut you a piece and peel it, and it's very good. I had it as a kid one time. Well, what they had was a mill. It wasn't that big a thing. But what they'd do, they'd hook a mule up to a pole, and sometimes they'd have to blindfold the mule to keep him from getting dizzy. And he'd just walk in a circle as long as he was grinding up the sugar cane. And most people would bring their cane to one individual, and he'd grind it up for them. Well, this was really popular back right before the Depression, and people just wanted, to have a little bit of something extra in their life, and sweet molasses was that. Well, you'd carry it to the mill, and normally there wouldn't be an exchange of money, but for however much of your sugar cane they ground up, they keep a percentage of your molasses, and that tended to make everybody happy because there's no money out of pocket. And this mule would work this all day, and you'd have a one man feeding into the machine, and sometimes the other would have to kind of help guide with the mule. Or after a while, I know mules are so smart, they just get to doing it without even any encouragement. And as you can see, the sugar cane is fed and pressed, and then it comes out right here into gallon buckets. Well, it's a green mix that comes out, and that green mix has to be cooked. Well, as you cook it, your impurities come to the top, and you take a long handle spoon and take off those impurities. Well, this happens to a point, then you start getting a different type of substance, and that's what they call the molasses candy. But it's a real skill to cook this stuff, because if you leave water in it, it'll go bad. And if you cook it too much, it'll have a burnt taste to it. Molasses contains a large amount of minerals and potassium. You can make beer and rum, using in cooking, livestock feed, ethanol, tobacco products, munitions, and there's lots of other things that molasses can be used for. Most of the time in the South, there was a little dab of it poured in the bottom of the plate, and it was spooned up with cathead biscuits. January the 18th, 1990, there was a great Boston molasses flood. The temperature went from freezing to 55 degrees, and whatever happened, about 2.3 million gallons of molasses burst from a tank. And this was like a 25-foot high wall of molasses coming down the street at 35 miles an hour. 21 people died and 150 were injured. They had a hard time identifying people because they were encrusted in molasses, but it killed horses and cats and dogs. And the fire department washed this molasses down into Boston Harbor, and they used sand to help absorb it. Said Boston Harbor stayed molasses brown till the next summer, till it finally faded away. But molasses, you still have people that have these things, but not that many people are doing it anymore. make their own syrup or molasses. But I like molasses with a biscuit, and brings back a lot of good memories. Thanks for stopping by. Come back again when you will. Share, comment, like, hit that subscribe button. God bless.